Market was super choppy, and I hope you guys were able to print in this type of market conditions. The price action was horrible, and if you guys go on most traders' Instagrams, they'll also tell you the same thing, like Lambo Raul. Fortunately, we were able to come on top, and I'll show you guys that as well. First, we're going to go over AMD and SPY to see what we're going to trade for tomorrow, create a quick trade plan, and also talk about what had happened since last trade plan video. So if you haven't watched that one, watch that one ASAP before you watch this one. But overall, we created just 3 levels on a new tab, showing you guys where I plan on taking puts at, where I plan on taking a quick bounce for calls, which we missed it actually. But overall, we even came to retest that level here again in the pre-market of today. Guys, this level is actually very strong and vital, and the way I got it was on a higher time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, I got this recent candle high and this candle high right here, which is just 566, a psychological level, which is very important and vital for trading as well. So it is a 58-cent range, but guys, it's been triggered twice. It's gotten hit twice and respected twice. It's a very strong level, and I'm keeping it forever. But as you guys can see, SPY is just ranging. It's actually not really going anywhere, so be cautious and be careful if you plan on trading it tomorrow. But I'm going to show you guys where I plan on taking calls and puts at, as well as I am going to go over real briefly the 2 trades that I took, as well as one of the trades being an L. Overall, I took 3 trades, 1 L on Nvidia and two dubs on SPY. But first, before we even get into that, let's show you guys our trade plan for tomorrow. Now, I am going to use the Fibonacci retracements just on the most recent candle all-time high, as well as I'm going to grab the most lowest point that SPY recently hit to, which is 565.17 and the all-time high level. Now, since SPY is ranging and we're kind of in this weird area of price action, I'm just going to grab the Fibonacci retracement levels, and that's also why I even traded and took the trades that I took today, which was 2 short positions. As a matter of fact, all 3 of my trades were short positions, one of them being an L, but I was able to take gains off of using these Fibonacci retracement levels on SPY, and I took 2 dubs. Now, the levels that I plan on taking calls and puts at is very simply. I plan to take calls above the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, which is 589.94. Or if you want to be more safe, you can take calls above the most recent high, which was today's high, which is 570.33. You can even mark that off as a level and take calls there. But me personally, I am going to take calls above the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level. Very simple, very fast, as well as we're even going to take puts below 38.2% Fibonacci retracements, whatever level it gives to us. So tomorrow, if SPY opens up tomorrow above 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, then I'll just take calls on the bounce of it with some hammer candles, bullish engulfings, maybe some consolidation there, but overall calls above that level. Puts below 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level, and again, it's basically just the low of today. It's 568.10, which is the low of today. So both of those levels line up perfectly. One being the Fibonacci retracement level, 38.2% Fibonacci retracement, or you could just mark it off as the low of today. That is a really solid level where I actually plan to take puts at, and I even wrote it down on my journal so that when I wake up tomorrow, I remember. Because honestly, that is a really strong level that I really would love to take puts at. Reason being is because, guys, look at all the reaction here. Every time we get in that general area, it bounces above. Even over here in the most recent price action, every time we get to that general area, it bounces above. Now, when we break below it, here we are testing it, consolidating below it. So it is a really strong Fibonacci retracement level, 38.2% fib. Puts below it for sure, guaranteed. Calls might be a little bit iffy only because of the reactions here. And even today, I'll show you guys as well. I did take puts at that level, but it was a little bit rocky. Now, before we even get into that, let's just go over AMD's trade plan for tomorrow. So AMD really didn't go nowhere as well, but I am going to pull it down my Discord tab to show you guys what I have been looking at for AMD. So I posted this picture the other night on AMD with this nice downtrend with the break of it for potential for calls. As you guys can see, this recent zone has some good support here. Look, all the candles holding above that zone. Very good support, very good price action is what I like. And so I said AMD on high watch support, on high watch for sure. Nice support around these areas. Calls above 157, calls also above 159.25, but let's talk about that real quick, guys. As you guys see, this is the next day after that. We did get a nice break above, even retested that zone, but ultimately we just ended up chopping like SPY did. Everything kind of chopped. Price action was horrible today. But overall, the trade plan is still in favor of my idea of what I plan on doing, which is calls above 157, which is this area right here exactly. 157 is above the zone. That's where I plan on taking calls at. And the same thing, 159.25, calls above that, which is the most recent high. That's where I plan to take calls above. Now, where I plan to take puts is below the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. That's where I plan to take puts at, which is 154.55. Mark that down if you guys would like. Anything below this zone, I'm definitely also taking puts below, which is also 153.34. So those are my 2 call positions, and those are my 2 put position levels that I plan on taking. Now, I'm not so bullish or bearish because market is just chopping around, but whatever it gives us, guys, is what we're trading. So make sure you have your put levels, make sure you have your call levels in order to actually gain the best type of trade setup in your favor, the best trade idea you can find, because it doesn't matter if market's bullish or bearish. As long as you have both levels set, you can capitalize on any direction in the market. So this is my 2 trades that I took on SPY at first, and I'm also going to show you guys what the L was on Nvidia, which is a very important lesson. I hope hope you guys take it in because it's very vital and it's something I'm trying to tell my Discord members as well. Nvidia was just a $13 loss, while SPY I was able to gain 81, which put me at a profit and loss of $68 today. Now I did mark it off with boxes for my price target as well as purple boxes for my stop loss, but let's go over them real quick, guys. So the reason why I took the first trade, which was on SPY, is because of these Fibonacci retracement levels that we just went over on a higher time frame. Now I took puts here because of one specific reason, actually many, but let's talk about the first one. Reason being is because every time we hit this general area of the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, we ended up rejecting. Long wicks to the upside indicating a seller step in every single time. So I did miss the first 2 times, but the third time I was not about to miss it. Now, as you guys can see on this candle right here, there's almost no buyers whatsoever. The buyer volume is actually decreasing, so it gave me more confidence to be confident in puts. So I ended up entering puts on the next candle. Now it did shoot up a little bit. Didn't really scare me though. You know why? Because I have a stop loss and the 5-minute candle closes every single time below my stop loss. Every single time. Long wicks to the upside indicating that sellers are stepping in and buyers cannot take control. Ended up selling off here pretty hard, bearish engulfing, as well as I had a price target, which ended up paying me 22% on the first trade. Then I ended up taking puts below this Fibonacci retracement as well, which is a 50% Fibonacci retracement level. Big 15-minute candle closed below. Important guys. It closed below. The most recent candle below that was this fat rejection candle. This fat sell-off candle closed below. So I ended up entering puts on the retest, had a stop loss above this 50% Fibonacci retracement level, and ultimately it never even closed above that. Big sell-off to the downside. That's how I gained 33% on my second trade, which ended up putting me at $68 on the day. But let's talk about the most important lesson on today, guys, which is Nvidia. It's where I took my loss at. Matter of fact, I still have the box there to show you guys more visually. But this is a very important lesson because I actually missed this setup right here, which is more of a break and retest type of setup, which is my favorite because I learned that break and retests actually pay you the most. They've been paying me the most. Now, the first setup that I missed was like this. As you guys can see, long wick to the downside, candle closes above, gets bought up at the support, gets bought up here at the support. But what happens next? We get a break, which is the first level of the break and retest. We get a break. Then we come to retest this level. Now, I didn't enter it because I wasn't too confident. Market was chopping around. SPY was doing its own thing. AMD was going up. I wasn't too sure what exactly was going on. So I missed this perfect break and retest setup here to potentially gain like a nice 20-30% gain, but I missed it. So you know what I try to do? I try to take the same type of setup here. And as you guys can see, the next time we come here, I see this nice rejection candle. I enter puts here, but we ended up closing above the zone. Unlike over here, we closed below the zone. We ended up closing above the zone. So you know what I did? I just took a quick loss of $13, guys. $13. Most people would end up holding this trade and seeing what it would do at the next Fibonacci retracement level, or maybe seeing what it does at the next area of resistance, which is maybe a way up here. But ultimately, just cut your losses and move on, guys. That's something that I'm trying to preach in my Discord, is the fact that, guys, 1 out of 5 of your trade setups are going to fail. If you're confident in all your trade setups, one of them will probably most likely be a loss. Now, there's many times where none of them is a loss for the whole day, and you end up taking 3 to 5 trades and every single trade was a win, because every single trade you're supposed to take is a setup in your favor. Now, this trade setup was somewhat in my favor, but ultimately market was doing its own thing. AMD was pushing up, SPY was doing its own thing, kind of chopping around, creating higher lows, higher highs. So I ended up just cutting it because I noticed the market conditions weren't in my favor. Stuff was chopping around. I wasn't too confident, although this trade setup was in my favor because we did get this candle closed below, but ultimately the next candle closed above. So you know what? I just ended up cutting it, guys. It's very important, and I want you guys to understand that, because like I said, most traders will end up actually trying to hold that, see what it does here, gets a candle close above, but then what happens? You're down 30, 40 to 50%. And you're beating yourself up saying, man, I wish I would have just cut it at my stop loss. So I'm very strict on myself to cut at the stop loss, because I know that my next trades will end up being actual bangers. Unlike this one, a 10% loss doesn't hurt me. A 22% gain is nice. A 33% gain is nice, which ended up putting me nicely up on the day, which is something I try to tell the Discord. I kept trying to tell them, guys, look at this very important lesson, man. I said, peep the chat from earlier, gang. It's how we stay profitable. Took one small L on Nvidia, sticking to my plan, and second trade, I stuck to the plan and it printed. Because on the first trade, guys, you guys can see here, this is what it looks like on the first trade. Candle close above, I just cut it. Whatever, don't care. But the second trades and the third trade ended up printing me nicely amounts of gain. So, which ended up putting me like this, guys. $81 on SPY, $13 loss on Nvidia. I'll take it. Today was choppy, today was weird. But I hope you guys had an awesome day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. It's pretty much a trade idea plan for tomorrow, as well as a quick trade recap. and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let me know how you guys felt about this one. Kind of rambled on a lot, but it's very vital and very important for traders to learn about from my losses. You can learn from my losses, guys. Now, what I am teaching is the fact that you don't need to take a big loss. Set your price target, set your stop loss, and stick to the plan, and I promise you, you'll be happy. On top of that, if you are a very good trader that's been experienced in the game, you'll be very profitable as well, because your losses are going to be always smaller than your gains, and your gains are always going to be bigger than your losses, which is what's always happening to me. Because even if we were to go here in the loss tab, you guys can see $11 loss, $48 loss. Whereas my gain, $120 gain, $160 gain, $126 gain, $108 gain, $364 gain, which was probably one of my best days. Now this is future trading right here. That's why 21,000 non-funded. But overall, guys, you guys can see for your guys' self, the losses aren't that big compared to the gains. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good, safe trading day tomorrow. Check the fundamental calendar news. And if you're not in the Discord, guys, we post every single day earnings reports, as well as the fundamental news, which economic reports are dropping the next day. Constantly talking about trading every single day. So I hope you guys join, and the link is in the bio.